What's up, gents? My name is Ford and Fair Lady, and this episode is going to be fixing the 1991 MR2 that's been off the road since September. Let's go. So, I just got a call from the shop on the MR2. As I thought, my timing belt was off. So, woo! I guessed the problem right for once and wasn't just fucking around like on the 280ZX or the Buick I've been working on for 5 months. So, yeah, let's go! But, sadly, they did not call me bearing good news. So they had a broken bolt on the water pump, so we had to take that one off. Throw in a lot more money that I don't really have, but it's for the MR2. It's worth it. But they got the bolt extracted. They were just getting ready to put the engine back up into the car, which that's why I took it into the shop, was because I was not about to drop the engine in the driveway to get a new timing belt on and stuff like that. So basically, they replaced the timing belt, the belt tensioners, the water pump, and got it all retimed. And so they were just getting ready to put it all back together, but they wanted to do a compression test because basically, so if this is the cylinder, right, and this is the valves, so when your cylinder goes down, your valves go in and release air and gas. And as your cylinder comes up, it compresses it, and there's also another valve up here that releases exhaust gas. But basically, we're worried about these two, and so when it goes down, it opens up, and then when it comes back up and this one closes, it has to have compression right there. So if your timing belt is off, then when this one comes back up and this is down, boom, bends it, breaks it, all that terrible stuff. That's why you never want your timing belt to slip or to break, or your timing chain to break or slip. So it is very important that you do basic maintenance on your timing belt, timing chain. Make sure that they look all good, get it inspected, all that, because it is a catastrophic engine failure that can happen. Unfortunately, I lost a bunch of clips and audio of videos like this one right here due to a bad editing software. And so all I was going to say in the clips that I lost was this. So basically, they told me that my compression was low. It's supposed to be at 143. It's at 90 across all cylinders. It still runs though, so I'm not too worried about it. I mean, it is a really old car, and if we can get some more life out of it, then I'll be happy. I don't know how long it's gonna last, but I think that if I put some oil on there, it'll also come back around. It's sat for a while, so yeah, I'm not too worried about that. But then they said my starter was bad, and I told them to check the wiring because I actually had to wire it really terribly. It was like an eyelet with an eyelet crimped down to it, and then a bolt to another eyelet connected to the wire. Like, it was terrible. They said that they fixed it. Well, it turns out they actually wired it wrong, and then the car would crank after I rewired it, but it wouldn't start. And so then I went and checked my firing order because they said they fixed that, and the firing order was off. And so I fixed that, and then it will run, but it still misfires bad. Not nearly as bad as it was before. Like, it's not popping or cracking. So they did retime it and get it into timing right, but it's still just not working quite well. So we're just trying to diagnose that with all the parts that we buy in this video, and just trying to fix the car and get it back on the road and running and driving. All right, gents. Parts came in for the MR2. We got brand new spark plug wires, new coil, and a new distributor, a new cap and rotor inside of it. We'll be putting all this stuff on today. I don't think this is going to work very well today because it's really windy, but I got a new microphone. It seems to work pretty good, just about. I apologize to any headphone users watching, but I got karma because all of the clips after that one got corrupted with audio because of the microphone, I guess, like when I unplugged it, until I turned my phone off and turned it back on again, and then it just was working fine. But basically everything got corrupted, and you didn't miss a whole lot. Just me explaining everything I explained in the first clip. Um, I was voiceovering, and yeah, here's just me doing some time lapse taking off parts. I can teach you this helpful trick for taking out your spark plugs on an MR2, probably like a Civic, something like that. Break it loose with the ratchet first, obviously, and then take off your extension and socket. Just unscrew it by hand. I don't know why. Like, maybe this is just stupid, or maybe I'm just stupid, because I didn't think of this the first time I changed my spark plugs, and I was trying to hold the ratchet still, because I was like, man, this thing is just, it ain't going. It took me like an hour just to change my spark plugs. So yeah, that, you know, I'm saying it out loud, it's probably just me being dumb, but yeah, you unscrew it all the way. Once unscrewed all the way, sometimes you'll get lucky, it'll come out. Other times, don't run away from me. Other times, take your spark plug boot, push it down in there. Come on. If you're lucky, you can grab it out. Lucky for me, I have the original spark plug boots, and they're not as round as that one. Huh. Wonder, they look different. Spark plugs boots might be the problem. I don't know, we'll see, but yeah, basically just, you know, stick it in there and come out. You guys are gonna watch the rotor right here. Make sure I know which way it's spinning, so I know which way to rotate the motor over. Okay, so we rolled the engine over by hand, made sure it's rolling the right direction. As you guys saw in the video, this is pointing down to cylinder number 1. I know it doesn't look like it, but I put the cap on. It's definitely pointing to cylinder number 1. And we are at top dead center on the first cylinder. So this should be all in time. And there was another thing that concerned me a little bit, and that's, I'm wondering if it's not my distributor now. So this is my brand new cap, brand new plug wire. Look at that. The plug wire stuck in there. Brand new. Come on, guys. I never even drove it with this. That's how new it is. So it's just, it's ridiculous sometimes. I mean, you never know what you're gonna get, guys. So just, you know, double check everything you do, all your work, everything. It's really good to be thorough. If you guys had noticed, in the Z videos, I was not very thorough. I put in cheap parts like a universal fuel pump, and I, you know, got an aftermarket fuel rail, but then cheaped out on the injectors and just stuff like that. It was just a disaster because I didn't know what I was doing. But you know, you want to try to get as close to OEM parts. If you're trying to fix something, if you're doing, you know, repairs, do OEM parts. Don't upgrade it. I know you want to. I was just looking at mine, thinking, well, after this, maybe it's my injectors. And then I'm like, oh yeah, I could just put in like some ITBs right there and just take off this whole thing. I'm like, nope. I gotta just like fix those first, and then I can get ITBs or whatever. I mean, it's just kind of, it sucks, but that's the easiest way to do it. So, okay, so I really want to make sure I get this distributor right back in the right spot. So, take a look there. So the MR2 is actually really nice because instead of a gear, it has just 2 prongs, so we can either go 180 degrees out of timing or right on time. So thank you, Toyota designers, I love you. It's time for the moment we've all been waiting for. Well, I mean, as you can see, oh. You guys see that? The wire is broken off. Well, that'll do it. That's got to be the problem. Well, all right. I mean, you know, I've got all these other parts. I'll just throw them on, but I will take that. At least I know that's what the problem is. I mean, and I know how it happened too. Like, there's no way. Like, imagine this is the wire for the coil, right? plugged in right there. There's the wire for that. I had to have just freaking bumped that, ripped the 2 wires out, and that's it. Well, now we're gonna go into town, take old reliable here, good old Ford, runs like a dream. I know you hate the incline. Well, I got home, put the new distributor in, it slid in like butter, so hopefully it works well for us. Just got back from town, tried to get the plug wire for the distributor. And apparently it's kind of difficult to get, at least from like Napa and stuff like that. I worked on Napa, looked at Parts Geek, but I did find one that's like, apparently it's like kind of universal to Toyotas. It's got one more wire than I need. I think it should still work though, so it's going to be coming Tuesday, so hopefully we'll get that done and then get this thing going. Okay, so we got all the wires back on, distributor back on. It should be in the right spot. Looks the same on the video. Got the cap on, all my wires besides the one that's going to the coil. I don't know if I'm going to replace my coil or not. I have a new one, but it's a pain in the ass to get to. You gotta undo all this fuse box shit. But that might be in part 2. But I think that's gonna be it for today, because I gotta wait, get that wire for the distributor. Goes right there. And then we will hopefully get this thing running. But I will see you guys then. And as always, this is Ford and Fair Lady, signing off.